Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're dialing in from. My name's Callum Fitzpatrick from Aforza, and welcome to the Ava Promotion Agent launch, where we're going to be showing how you can unlock TPM's business value with the Ava Promotion Agent. Now, joined with me today is Nick Eales, Chief Technology Officer at Aforza. And really, throughout the period today, we're going to be starting off with an introduction to Aforza, the TPM pains that we all see today, an introduction to Ava, and then I'm going to be handing over to Nick, who's going to be taking us through a really powerful demonstration of the Ava Promotion Agent. So he's going to start with Ava's framework, how she exists today, and then building out the scenario that we're going to be covering, which I believe is going to be a stretch scenario for a key account manager. Then he's going to jump into the demonstration. He's going to hand back over to me, and I'm going to cover some of the productivity gains that you're going to see, that you will see with Ava, and how you can get started today with Ava and the Ava Promotion Agent. And of course, we'll have some time for Q&A. So please put your questions in the chat, and we'll have some dedicated time at the end of the session to answer them. So as a brief introduction to Aforza, we are a cloud computing company dedicated to consumer goods. So from everything from the manufacturer to the distributor, to your retail execution, to your agencies, all the way down to the retailer. And we're trusted by leaders around the world. Fantastic companies like Transmed in the Middle East, to global companies like Heineken, Suntory, and L'Oreal. Now, we're built on the shoulders of two cloud computing giants, Salesforce and Google Cloud. And we have applications available for field teams, from iOS, for Android. And really, we solve the pains for every persona in consumer goods, whether that's in field sales, trade promotion management, key account management, DMS, all the way to B2B and commerce environments. Now you can see in the diagram on the slide, we elevate every single one of these areas and for all of these personas with Ava, which stands for Aforza Vertical AI. And you're about to meet her in just a moment, and Nick's going to be introducing her to all of you. Now, Ava truly drives incredible productivity and efficiency gains for every single one of these users. So no matter what channel you're operating in, direct, indirect, Ava will be driving business value for each of these areas. Now, if we take a step back and look at some of the pains and why TPM hurts today, there are some painful truths that we need to address in legacy trade promotion management. Now, Salesforce, our good friends and partners, have said in their State of Sales report that 2/3 of key account management time is lost to admin every single day. Now, this stat is kind of amazing, as CRM has now been around for about a quarter of a century, and we are still losing this time to admin. So definitely room for improvement here. Now, Nielsen have also said that 60% of promotions have no ROI. I think McKinsey has a similar stat. I think they'd say about 70%. The fact that we don't know if our promotions are actually making money is pretty amazing in itself. We all know that we need to run them, but what's the business impact? It can be really, really hard to measure. And the Promotion Optimization Institute here have said about 1 in 5 or 21% of promotions aren't effective due to poor compliance. However that is enacted or executed out in the field or at HQ. So whichever way you cut it in 2025, which is when this webinar is running, there is definitely a lot of room for improvement in both how we plan and execute promotions for the consumer products industry. So what Nick and myself want to show you now is how you can today, because this is not a future, this is right now, streamline all of these areas with Ava. So who is Ava? She has spent her whole life working as a coach in the consumer products industry. She's the world's #1 expert in commercial planning, in trade promotion management. She has a deep knowledge of all of your customers in the market. how to actually drive value from them, and she makes perfect commercial decisions on everything, on price, promotion, assortment, on trade terms. And the best part is she's never on PTO, she never takes time off, she's never sick, she's always on and available. And she consistently drives about 10x productivity out of every team member she supports. And I know some of you might say, Callum, you can't be serious here, but when you see what we're about to show you, you'll understand why that multiplier is true. Now, there's two key things before I hand over to Nick that I want to cover here. The first is that Ava is multimodal. She's vertically trained AI, which means she can interact with you, your data, and all the content that you use to run the business. So retail images, PDFs, contracts, promotional templates, claims documents, even voice summaries, anywhere on your mobile, within a plan, through the web. So this isn't just AI and Ava that understands language, she actually understands your world. Now, secondly, and more importantly, Ava is product ready. So what you see today, it's not a concept, it's not a pilot or something that needs to be built out over the next 6 months. It's here. It's now, it's live. We've done the hard work to craft Ava the same way that all of you would craft your own brands, your own products, with care, expertise, and importantly, ready to be enjoyed immediately. You wouldn't ask your customers, to everyone on the call, to make their own products themselves. We wouldn't ask you to build your own AI. Ava is built for purpose. She's designed for your industry, consumer goods, and ready to serve from day one. So on that note, I'd like to hand over to Nick to take us through some really powerful Ava Promotion Agent demonstrations. Nick, are you there?
Thank you, Callum, and thank you to everyone for joining us here on the webinar today. My name is Nick Eels, and I lead product and technology for Aforza. Today, I'm really excited to be able to show you a new demonstration of the Ava Promotion Agent. Now, as you might already know, Ava, or Aforza Vertical AI, is our AI assistant built specifically for the needs of the consumer goods industry. She can do everything from advise you on customers, to planning and scheduling your visits, to placing new orders and predicting new orders. She can also do heavy lifting scenarios like mass claims management, understanding the claims that come into the system, approving them, rejecting them automatically. But today, I'm really excited to show you how Ava is going to be able to manage your promotions. So being able to look at your promotions to date, look at what's performing well, what's not performing well, using that to plan new scenarios and plan out your new promotions for the coming year. Ava's going to be able to help you do all of that through very, very simple and intuitive user interfaces. So let's take a look at the demonstration and how we're going to be framing that today. So we're going to be logging in as Sophie, and Sophie is a key account manager who needs to manage a bunch of different customers and manage brand priorities, and she has a number of promotional levers she can use to deliver her targets and hit her targets with confidence. Now, to date, Sophie would do all of this manually. She'd have all of her accounts, she'd have to look through those, look through the promotions, and figure out what she needs to do to hit her targets. But today we're going to introduce Ava, and Ava is going to act as a commercial coach for Sophie. And Ava's going to do everything I've just talked about automatically for Sophie. She's going to guide her along that way to planning her promotions for the subsequent quarter. So here's the scenario. Sophie's been given a new stretch goal that she needs to achieve. She needs to get another $30,000 in revenue for this quarter. And before, as I mentioned, she would do this by manually extracting data from multiple systems. She would look at the promotions in one system, she'd look at her accounts, she'd look at the products, sales volume forecasting, and she'd take all of that and she'd analyze it in a tool like Excel and work with other teams. And she would do all of that to try and extract or figure out how she can get that additional revenue. But now she's going to have access to Ava, and Ava's going to work for her. So Ava has all of that information already. She can access that data from your promotion management system, from your account management, from your product catalog. She's going to know all of that, and she's going to be able to answer the question for Sophie automatically and do everything much, much quicker. In fact, up to 9 times faster as what we've been seeing from our customers. So let's drill down a little bit into what you're going to see today. So Sophie, with Ava's help, is firstly going to be given that stretch goal where she needs to achieve that additional $30,000 for her customer. Then she's going to use Ava or ask Ava to help find the top performing promotions last year. Ava's going to do that and then help Sophie model out available promotions that will help achieve that stretch goal. And then once she's happy with that plan, Ava's going to go and create that promotion for the customer. And just like that, in a matter of minutes, we're going to have that new promotion created and the new stretch goal well underway to being achieved. So that's what we're going to show. Let's actually go into the demonstration now and take a look. So here I am logged into Aforza as Sophie, and Sophie is looking at the Fresh Start Group chain of accounts here. And on here, she can see all of the details, the sales volumes, the revenue, the profit, the year, the total trade spend year to date, everything she needs to understand this customer in detail. She can see all of this on the analytics dashboard, and she has all this information at her fingertips to make informed decisions. But as I've said, she's just been given a new target. She needs to hit an additional $30,000 in revenue. And she could go through and start looking at the graphs and drilling down into the details. And she could look at the promotions that are performing well herself. But why should she do that herself? She now has Ava to help her along that journey. So instead of manually going through all of this information, this very valuable information, she's instead going to go to Ava and ask Ava to do it for her. So on the Ava screen, the way Sophie interacts with her is simply asking her a question. So she's going to ask this question of, I need to increase my revenue by $30,000. What were the best performing promotions in 2024 for this account? And I'm going to use that information to help me model the next ones. So I can ask the question. And now behind the scenes, what's happening is Ava's actually working out what the question is, what agent she needs to consult with. So the new promotion agent is who she's looking at. And then the promotion agent is looking for the account that we've mentioned. And then it's looking for promotions against that account. And she's telling you every step of the way what she's doing. And once she's done it, all that information is automatically pulled back for Sophie. So just like that, Ava has analyzed the customer information, the promotion information for 2024, and she's figured out what were the top 3 best performing promotions. And she's ordered it by revenue in this case, but we could order it by anything. And she's come back and she's told us about them. She's also given us links so that we could easily, if we wanted to, click into any of those promotions and view them in the system in more detail. She's also given us a little bit of information here about how we might want to increase that revenue by $30,000, focusing on the highest revenue generating promotions. Now she said the first 2 could be very beneficial, but I've noticed that this last one here, that's nearly getting us a $30,000 revenue, and we don't want to launch a massive promotion that's going to, perhaps have some promotion clash with our existing ones. So I want to look at some more details about this bottom one here. So I'm just going to simply say to Ava, show me some more details about this promotion. Now, again, Ava is going to go away and she's going to work out what we've asked for, what Sophie's asked for. And she's worked out that, again, it's another promotion related question. So she's forwarded that to the promotion agent. And the promotion agent is now going to fetch additional details about that promotion. So we have all of the performance information we need to make an informed decision. All right, fantastic. So she's actually come back and she's given us the full details of that promotion in a graphical setting. So even though we're chatting back and forth with Ava, she's able to surface the actual application directly here for us to look at and analyze. So we can see the details of the promotion, the products that are in it, the tactics that are being applied. And we can see all these different groups that we can expand and collapse. So this looks great. We can see all the products and the volumes they're getting. We can also look at the performance tab. And on here we can see actually, the base predicted, the actuals year to date. So we have all this information available. Right, so this looks great. I'm happy with this promotion, but it was just short of that 30,000 target that we're aiming for. So what I'm going to do is get Ava to help me analyze this and plan out some scenarios to increase that revenue slightly. So again, I've asked the question. She's going to go back to the promotion agent And the promotion agent is then going to go and start analyzing and help preparing these this model or these different models to help increase the revenue. All right, let's see what she's told us. So she's come back and she said, all right, to increase that 27K to over 30K, here's a couple scenarios. So we want to increase the volume sold in one scenario. We're going to enhance the discounts by an extra 10% in another. And then we're going to do some more promotional bundled offers in the third one. Now, each of those scenarios she's given us is prepared or provided over that 30,000. So that's great. And then she's given us a summary saying, combine the volume increases with the promotional bundles can have the highest impact. So this sounds amazing. I'm happy with the scenario she's created. I'm happy with this promotion that she's found for me. That's really going to help me drive this $30,000 target that I've got for this quarter. So I'm going to go ahead and just say, please go ahead and clone the 3-for-2 promotion for this quarter. So again, Ava's going to go away and she's just going to handle this for me. I don't need to manually find the promotion. I don't need to manually copy and paste all of the values or try and drag and drop it somewhere. Ava's just going to do it for me. All right, amazing. Promotion's been cloned just like that. She's put it into the system for this quarter, so from today until the end of June. Amazing. She's added all the same products. She's added all the same tactics. We can see all of this in here. And if we look at the performance tab, we can see the base and the predictions there. Actual's not filled in yet as we've only just started running it, but we're good to go. And what's amazing is now that Ava's helped me do all that, I can still click this and click into the system to see this promotion in detail. So I've clicked into it. I can see here's the new promotion, the clone of it that's been created for this quarter. And now I can just do the final tweaks and finishing touches if I want to. So perhaps I want to change the name and call this like, the 30K extra promotion, just so I know what it is. I can also go in and I can start adding in, my studio assets. So things like planogram compliance, which is a big thing for us at the moment. We need to make sure these promotions are compliant. So I can simply drag and drop these files on there, these planograms, and have those added to the promotion. And I can go through the designer and just make sure everything is exactly as it should be, and approve this to send out to my customer. All right, so let's take a step back because I've shown you a lot of stuff there quite quickly. What we just saw is Sophie being given a stretch goal, and instead of having to manually go through and spend a day or more of her time figuring out what to do to hit that goal, instead, within a matter of 5 minutes, Ava has found the promotions that performed well last year, picked a good promotion, and done some scenario planning or scenario modeling against that promotion to increase the revenue on it somewhat. And then cloned the promotion with those additional discounts and provided that to Sophie for this quarter and given Sophie the ability to go in and tweak and fine-tune the final pieces of it. Now, Sophie did that in 5 minutes. Traditionally, if you're trying to build a new promotion from scratch or you're trying to clone an existing one and figure out what's performing, that could take days. At the very least, it's going to take hours. What we've just seen there is a fundamentally different way of working, and one that's so much quicker, so vastly quicker than anything that's out there today, that it's just going to make promotion management a completely different thing in the future. And this is just the beginning. This is just one example of how Ava can help manage your promotions. She can do so much more than this. When we start talking about claims processing and promotion compliance, when we start talking about key account planning and volume forecasting, when we start talking about contracts and joint business planning, these are all things Ava and the promotion agent can help with. So I'm really excited that I got to share that with you today. Hopefully you found that enlightening. And just as a reminder, this is not some sort of future vision. This is all here today. What you've seen is real product, and this is Ava for live using these promotional capabilities today. So thank you. Let me hand it back to Callum, who's going to talk you through just a few more slides before we get to the Q&A. Callum, over to you.
Thank you, Nick. Wow, that's seriously incredible. Thank you for taking us through the Ava Promotion Agent for that specific stretch scenario there for a key account manager. Now, if we just take a step back and look at this scenario and compare how it is with Ava, but then also how it has been and probably currently is to a lot of people on this webinar, traditionally, it would look like multiple disconnected steps. So firstly, identifying those historical promotions. That would often be manually searching, sometimes in an Excel spreadsheet or some other sort of legacy TPM software. Then actually gathering that performance data, which can often exist and sit with different teams. It's completely siloed, which means it's disconnected from your trade promotion records. Then actually building out promotion scenarios. This can take a very long time, and often, again, it can exist in multiple systems trying to build out these scenarios. Then once you do build a promotion, you activate it, you need to submit that for approval. This could be via email or text. There's the historical proof of compliance that you've done this approval process. Now, this could take anywhere from 45 minutes, depending on the complexity and the tools that you're using and the kind of speed at which your teams work at, all the way up to a day or more than a day, a few days, a week to get this kind of promotions running. Now with Ava, she's collapsed all of this into seconds, into moments. And importantly, she doesn't just give me, or give Sophie, in this case, the key account manager, a wall of data. She gives curated, actionable options that are easy to digest and action based on what she's provided there. I mean, you look at how long this webinar's been going for, that's about 5 to 10 minutes, and then easily tweak and add any digital assets, submit that promotion for approval within Aforza. So Aforza still provides all of those key fundamentals that you'd expect in trade promotion management. All of your product catalog, your promotional tactics, your budgets, your funds, your guardrails, your robust approval processes, all of that still exists within Aforza. But like I said at the beginning, Ava completely elevates it and changes the user experience for your key account managers and anyone else involved in the trade promotion planning cycle and scenarios. Now, what does that actually mean? That time saved means that Ava is 9 to 10 times faster, right? So those performance improvements that I mentioned at the beginning, now you can see we can talk about 9 to 10 times faster with Ava, which saves you time, right? So you can spend more time where it matters, in front of your customers. Or alternatively, if you're doing planning and all of this promotional scenarios late at night when the kids have gone to bed, you can spend more time with your family. We know consumer goods never stops. Now, you imagine this across everyone in your organization, everyone involved in that process, and everyone using Ava. The results that Ava can bring are seriously incredible. You scale that to everyone and your whole company grows. So let's take it back to those pains that we mentioned at the beginning and how Ava can drive sales productivity, smarter promotional decisions, and complete compliance. So we said about 66% of key account managers are losing time to admin each day. With this kind of capability with Ava, we can really challenge that, using Ava as a commercial coach, as an assistant to drive efficiency everywhere. Now, you saw how we can easily interrogate promotional performance and model out promotions that genuinely provide an ROI. This is how you can ensure that every promotion actually performs. And finally, Ava has all of the contextual knowledge of the promotion, the customers, the agreements in place, the long-term contracts, as well as all of that digital assets like the planograms, so you can guarantee execution compliance. So you can stop your TPM pain with Ava. She's here to help. Now, we were thinking internally of what's the best way of getting Ava in front of everyone so you can, give her a job interview before you hire her. And we've decided that you can sign up today and start using the Ava Commercial Coach and really start driving new levels of productivity and smarter decision making. So scan the QR code, head to the link. There'll be a really short and easy setup with Ava, and you can start using it today. Now, I can see that we have had quite a few questions coming in. Firstly, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone for joining the Ava Promotion Agent webinar today. I'm going to jump into the questions now and answer as many as we can in the time left. Nick, are you on hand to help me there? You there, Nick?